Hey everyone, I'm Simone. Welcome to Mama Says. Today we're gonna actually talk to you about a topic that is very, very close to my heart because um, it's a very real problem, and that is mental health. Mental health is something that has been ignored for so many years, and I am so grateful that there's people who have enough courage to come and talk about their mental health issues because it's so important to release, to talk, to seek guidance, to seek help. Because the more we keep those problems and those thoughts and that negativity inside, the more the anxiety, the more the stress, the more the many problems that follow. So we have with us today an amazing psychologist who's going to be answering all our questions. And we also have with us Akanksha, who is one of the most beautiful people, and she is an Instagram blogger as well, and she shares her deep-rooted anxiety always very openly on her page on Instagram. So definitely follow her. She's very real, and and we need more real people in the world.
Hi everyone, this is Akanksha from Mummy and Ryan. I am a blogger and dental surgeon by profession. First of all, I would like to thank Simone for giving us this platform to talk about all these things because it's really hard. People don't get a chance to share their story and they are hesitant. People are really hesitant to talk about it because until today there is a lot of stigma attached to mental health, and nobody really opens up. People think it's not right or they'll be judged, which is not good. So here I am with my story. So it started long back when I was a child, and I never took it seriously. I thought it's nothing, it's just washing hands, it's cleanliness, and it's no big deal. But I didn't even realize when I started getting anxious because of my OCD. And what I learned later, that everything, all of this is interconnected, it's interlinked. OCD is linked to anxiety is linked to depression. And I didn't even realize when I got married, with time, I actually started involving my husband in the same thing. I was forcing him to wash hands. I used to wash hands around maybe 50 to 100 times in 1 to 2 hours. I would constantly wash them, and at a go I used to wash my hands around 10 times. So a person going through OCD feels that no, they're not clean enough. You're not able to control that thought. You want to, but you feel so helpless, which leads to anxiety, and that is what was happening with me. So 2013 is when I gave birth. It was not an easy pregnancy because I had some issues. Ryan was a premature baby, and I actually had never paid attention to anything like postpartum blues and all these things. I was ready to just welcome a baby in our lives, nothing more. I never thought that this is also going to be part of my journey. So soon I gave birth. I don't know, I was not happy. I used to feel lost. I used to feel anxious all the time. I used to sleep with my mother after Ryan was born. She used to help me. And there's a time I was sleeping with them, and Ryan woke up and she wanted me to breastfeed him. She was waking me up. I was literally screaming at her. I was like, I don't want to do this. And I used to feel so guilty about it. I used to feel so bad. I've cried alone. Cried so many times. I used to feel so bad that why is this happening? This is not supposed to happen because you're a mother, and this is something you've been waiting for. This is something I've been waiting for all these years. Then why am I sad? Why am I not happy? It's my baby, it's my child. So these thoughts used to cross my mind, and trust me, not even once I thought that this could be something deeper, and this is something which needed attention. It's after 2 years, when Ryan was around 2 years of age, I started feeling really bad. It was so bad that I was even suicidal at a point of time. I have never tried it, but I've never tried it, but I have had these thoughts, and that is the time when I thought that it's time I should it's not normal. It's not normal. This should not be happening. This is not okay. And that is the time I decided to seek help. I decided to help myself. It is very, very important. Trust your people, trust your family, trust your friends. They will understand. If they don't understand initially, they will understand gradually. But it is important to open up. If you don't, you will not be able to help yourself. First of all, tell yourself that there's something happening with you which is not right, and you will be okay, you will be better, there is solution to everything. And then talk to your family about it. Don't keep fighting alone, because sometimes we need people to help us. We need support. Everybody needs support system to fight things, and that's what happens with mental health problems also. Everybody understood. I had amazing support of my husband, my family, everyone with what was happening with me, and they are the ones who pushed me to seek professional help. So this was around 2 years ago when I decided to seek help. I went to see the psychiatrist, and I started with therapies, I started with medication. I'm still on medication. I was also on sleep medication, and I am much better. I am so much better right now. I didn't even know what living without anxiety was. I actually forgot living without anxiety. If you feel anybody in your family is going through this, if you feel they are not opening up, please try and open up with them, because it's hard for them. Tell them it's okay. Do not keep telling them that it's nothing. It's just sadness. There's a huge difference between depression, anxiety, and sadness. I have always been a very happy, very jolly person. So people often used to look at me and say, "Why do you have depression? Or why are you anxious? Why are you sad? Your life is okay. You have everything. Your life is great." This is something which hits you at any point of time in your life. You don't ask for it, it comes, it hits you. And if you are feeling different, if you're not feeling normal, seek help, guys, because that is the only way to feel better. That is the only way to feel okay. If it's been going on for a long time, it doesn't end, that means there's something not right.
Let's ask our amazing psychologist, Priyanka, a little bit about herself.
Hi Simone, and thank you very much for having me as a part of this conversation about moms and their mental health. I'm Priyanka Verma. I'm a clinical psychologist, and I consult at 2 hospitals in Mumbai. I also see clients at my private practice at Lower Parel under the name of The Thought Company. So my area of focus is reflective of this conversation, wherein I see a lot of clients between the age groups of 18 to 40. This includes a lot of young new moms, and what I work with primarily are concerns focused on anxiety, depression, relationships, and navigating the stresses life throws our way.
Okay, so one thing that we have done is I asked you guys questions on Instagram, and I asked you to tell me what you would like to ask Priyanka so that she can answer all your questions. So I'm going to pick a couple of questions now. We obviously can't answer all, even though we wish we could. I'm not going to take your names because I don't know how comfortable you are with that, but I'm just going to read the questions. Someone says, "Hi, I'm 2 months pregnant and facing severe anxiety and depression. Can you please talk on this?" Over to you, Priyanka.
With COVID-19 around, a lot of mothers and new mothers are extremely stressed about what's going to happen. And I think the fear of the uncertainty or the fear of the future is definitely something that is plaguing their minds and is giving them an overwhelming feeling of helplessness. I would urge mothers and new mothers to not think about their future. While they're going to sit there and say, "But Priyanka, how can I not think about the future? It's my child's life." The important part for them right now is to realize that what feedback their child is getting from them at this point of time. If they're going to see their mothers worried and scared, they're going to internalize that fear, internalize that anxiety, and therefore make it a part of who they are. It is important for mothers to be able to disengage from the information they're getting out there from social media or from news channels, and only create an environment which is happy, almost like a bubble for their child at this point of time, where they do not have to necessarily experience the external stresses of it. Now, by saying that, I think it's important for mothers to also inform their child about basic cleanliness, basic importance of why they need to do this at a point of time, but not instill it from a point of fear. Fear is a very crippling emotion and can almost always destroy a person's concept of themselves. So for them to actually nurture their child at this point of time, it is important for them to disengage with thoughts of the fear of the uncertainty and only engage in productive, healthy thoughts about how to make the most of the situation.
We've got another follower who's asked, what are the other ways to ease anxiety other than meditation? So she doesn't want to meditate, but she wants to ease her anxiety. Priyanka, over to you.
So being a mom is a full-time job and it's a stressful full-time job. So most mothers who go out there and say, oh, I'm not stressed at all about being a mother are totally lying. Now the ways for you to have a healthy child and be a healthy mother requires a great amount of self-care. My 3 go-to mechanisms for self-care are eat, sleep, exercise. You have to ensure you're eating well, getting your 8 hours of sleep, as well as exercising. Now, if I'm going to break this up further into a couple of points, you need to find a group of women to exercise with who are not mothers. The reason being you need some time away from the family, from general mother conversations, and engage with women about the general things in life, some idle banter, some friendliness, something which is away from all of this. 2 is eating right. Now, eating right is very important because your child is watching you all the time. So the way your relationship with food, your regular meal patterns, your approach towards your food is all being watched by your child, and therefore if you want your child to form a healthy relationship with their food, that responsibility falls upon you to ensure you have a healthy relationship with your food. And the 3rd is sleep. Now sleep is a great way our mind relaxes and lets go of all the stresses in our life, and also a great way to recharge. You need to ensure that you take time out to sleep so that you can improve in the clarity of thought, as well as you don't get easily triggered when it comes to dealing with family and your child. What I also want to talk about is that a lot of mothers nowadays look at what other mothers are doing and try to be all of that. What you need to remember is that you are your own unique individual and your child is your own unique child. You need to create fond memories for your child, not stressful situations. So there are some mothers who may be great at baking cakes and some others are great at organizing a party. It does not mean you have to do both. You have to pick what you are able to do and what you're good at and only do that. There is no point in getting stressed and presenting this image of being the super mom when all you have to be is a mom to your child. Now, a couple of things you can do to decompress from all of this would include things like massages, reading, watching Netflix with your girls, or even going out for dinner with them. It can range from a variety of things, but also and most importantly is choosing what you relax with rather than just doing things because social media says you need to do it.
Okay, then we've got another one of our followers who's asked, is anxiety and depression genetic? Can it be genetic or can it be triggered due to whatever circumstances happen in our life? That's her question.
So when you look at anxiety and depression, it's important to understand it's a nature versus nurture debate. While there is a likelihood that somebody may develop symptoms of anxiety, depression if there is a family history of it, it is not necessary that they will. At the same time, somebody who does not have a family history of anxiety or depression may develop symptoms of it if they are in situations that are highly triggering or highly stressful. So when you're dealing with anxiety and depression, or to maintain good mental health, it is important for you to always take care of your emotional needs and your physical needs. And I keep going back to the 3 pillars of good mental health, which is exercise, sleep, and appetite. You have to make sure you're doing all of these 3 in adequate amounts. Any changes where it becomes excessive or to minimum on any of these 3 fronts indicates your mental health is getting disturbed.
Okay, another one of our followers has asked, how do you explain postpartum condition, so postpartum depression, to your husband? My baby is 19 months old and I'm still depressed. Okay, before I hand this over to Priyanka, I just want to add my 2 bit in here. There is nothing more important than dialogue. You have to be able to have dialogue with anyone who is in your environment, be that your husband, your parents, your in-laws. I know that sometimes it takes a lot of courage to be able to have dialogue, to explain yourself, but please remember that these people are your family and whether they accept you for who you are or whether they don't, you still have to be yourself. Stay true to who you are and what you're experiencing in this moment, and please have the courage to talk to your husband about it. Priyanka, I'm going to pass this question over to you now, but please do show your husband this video. I hope he sees it, and I'm sure he's an amazing man who will support you eventually.
So when it comes to explaining to your husband what postpartum depression is, I think a lot of literature is really useful for them to read, wherein they understand the symptoms and they're able to understand how your behavior relates to those symptoms. I think this starts from an earlier point of time where you are pregnant and you start educating your husband on different literature about pregnancy, the changes a woman goes through both physically, psychologically at this point of time. The best way to do that is through videos, through content, articles, and third and most importantly, also get your friends to talk about it at social settings. Bring up this topic, ask them about the experience, and ensure your husband's there so they can hear first-hand information, not just from you but from others as well.
Okay, coming back to talking about anxiety and depression. There's a lot of close people in my life, my best friends and my family, who've dealt with anxiety and depression on different levels. And guys, back in the day when people used to talk about mental health, it was like, oh, ye mental hai, ye pagal ho gaya hai, ye crazy hai, which is horrible, horrific, and just not okay at all. Because mental health is real, and 99% of human beings deal with anxiety on some level or the other. I deal with it on a lowish level. I am able to control my anxiety because I practice Buddhism and I chant, and that's my way and my tool of overcoming anxiety. Other people may or may not have a spiritual tool to help them, but I do know that everyone faces anxiety and or depression at different points of their lives due to different triggers, due to different reasons, and it's okay. But the most important thing, guys, is please always seek help. Always seek help. There is no shame in talking about what you're experiencing. There is no shame in feeling depressed. There is no shame in feeling anxious. It's okay. It's normal. It happens to the best of us, and there is a solution for every problem. Never forget that. There's always a solution. Always. So whoever is listening to this video, please speak about your problems. And if you know someone in your environment who is experiencing these kinds of symptoms, please encourage them to talk to you. Be their shoulder. It's a very difficult time for someone who's facing anxiety on a hard level. I know I've witnessed it with very close people in my life, and it's very difficult. It's also very frustrating for the person who's not anxious to understand the person who's anxious, because you're like, why can't you get it? But they can't sometimes because it's that much harder for them to grasp having faith and being positive. And that's what you're there for. You're there to be that light in their life, because that's what we have to do. We have to light the way for others, always. Akanksha and Priyanka, thank you so much for coming over here. Priyanka, thank you for answering all these questions so beautifully. Thank you for talking about coronavirus. It is definitely a humongous trigger for a lot of people. I know that even people who aren't anxious are getting really anxious right now. But all I know is that we will survive. We will get through this. We've got this. Go Corona, go. Like, seriously. And Akanksha, thank you for always being so amazing and for having the strength and the courage, for really speaking about your problems the way you do. I respect you, and I am absolutely certain that you will overcome all your anxiety.
Thank you so much, Simone. I felt great sharing my story, and more power to you, more power and respect to everybody who's fighting mental health problems and going through these things. I know it's not easy, but trust me, this too shall pass. You'll go through this. Everything will be okay with time. I am much better. I've been through this. You will be better.
And with that, guys, we sign off. Please share with us what you loved about this video. Please share with us if you are suffering from anxiety or depression. Please comment below. So you can send me DMs, you can email me. I will help talk I will find someone who will talk to you about this on the phone. We will get psychologists to help you, to talk to you on the phone, to ease you. There's always someone you can depend on, and you can always depend on me. So please never hesitate. Get in touch, comment below, like this video, share it with all your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click that bell icon. See you next time, guys. Stay safe. These times are crazy, but they will pass. Lots of love.